the Walkera X350 Pro. Now this is the bind and fly version. Actually, not even bind and fly. This is the BNF. It really has nothing. So it doesn't bring a gimbal. It doesn't bring a battery. It doesn't bring a transmitter, receiver, nothing. It's what you see is what you get. Okay, let me go ahead and take her out real quick. All right, comes with very simple guide for the transmitter, which I actually went ahead and went online and I ordered the RX703. I prefer the Walkera 10 channel receiver instead of this one, but this one has a digital bus, data bus, and that data bus can let you connect up to 12 channels, which is kind of neat. So regardless, I'll test it with this one. If I feel that it doesn't have the range that the other one has, I have them both, so I'll change them. So besides the unit itself, just this one here, there's a couple of cables hanging, little battery tray, nice and big in the back for the 5200 milliamp, which is coming. So for right now, I'm going to use a 2600 or 2300 milliamp that I have from my 450. And these are the brushless motors. Nice job on them. They're nice and flat, which I like. I think the regular Walkera, the one that's not the Pro version, is more of an angled. These are more of the flat versions. It's supposed to be the newer ones that use up less power. Alright, and then underneath all of this, you have the 4 props plus 4 extra spare props. You have some little tools and screws that it brings, which I use my own tools. And all the little dials and screws for the motors and the props and whatever this goes. Now, the only bad part about this is if you've never put one of these together before, the instructions really do not tell you absolutely anything on how to put it together. I mean, it's literally how to fly, how to bind it, how to unlock the motors. Besides that, you're on your own. So, not so good in that part, but I mean, everything is pretty much straightforward. Let me see, what am I missing here? I'm going to bring a couple of my tools, start taking this thing apart and playing with it. I'm going to install. Alright, I'm not too sure what to expect when I get in there, so I brought my full arsenal of all my screwdrivers, all my hex drivers, everything. I have my 2200 milliamp, 2300 milliamp battery, 11.1 volt from my 450 Walkera. So stick with Walkera, the parts are easy. And I got pliers, and I've got my Devo 10 transmitter, which I already pre-programmed for this, and you know, in anticipation that it was coming. So actually, to save myself some time, I'm going to go into my model menu, select, and I'm going to go all the way down to my, there he goes, X350 Pro. Awesome. Yes, it says pick airplane. The quadcopters are actually more closely related to airplanes than they are for helicopters when it comes to the actual remotes. Don't know why, but I guess that's how they do it. Alright, let's go ahead and see what screws we got to deal with. 1, 2, 3. I don't know if the ones in the tip count. Probably not, so we'll start with just these. Look really extremely tiny, so let's go ahead with a 1.5. Let's see if that does anything. I have never taken one of these apart before, but it looks pretty obvious. The gimbal, yep. And this would be the power for the compass. All right, and up here I would have to bring down the for the servos for the gimbal. And on this side I have no idea. I guess nothing. So hopefully it's not too much stuff I gotta bring down. I hate hanging cables all over the place. And I already saw that each of these blades have a little arrow showing if it's clockwise or counterclockwise. And the matching arrow for the clockwise and counterclockwise is on top of each of the plastics here. So at least it's going to be easy to recognize where the props go. And when everything clears off, you take everything out of the bag, you do your flight, and then you go from there. Alright, last screw. So yeah, that screw is also necessary, the ones in the corners. And for what I saw, this doesn't slide up, the bottom slides down. the top slides up, I mean. So there's actually a hidden screw on here that we got to be careful you don't pull too hard and break it. Below this little piece of rubber right there that I kept pulling and pushing, there's supposed to be a little tiny hidden screw. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to pull this thing out. It's supposed to just be like a little cover or something. There it is, a little piece of rubber. And then way down there, it's a little tiny screw. They would have kept huffing and puffing and pulling, it would have broke. I cannot imagine how many people probably broke this thing taking it apart. Alright, still 1.5, right? And this is actually kind of crazy, but that's a regular screwdriver tip. Jeez, everything is all hex, and then the hidden screw is a screwdriver. I wonder if they do that so if you don't take it to a shop, you break it opening it. I don't know, it's kind of dumb. And you got everything set a certain way, and then suddenly you're going to change it. Where is my magnet? Okay, there's a little hidden screw with a little hidden rubber piece. Mystery solved. Awesome. All right. Now that all that's gone, I'm going to go ahead and flip this over. And this time, carefully, raise it all up. Should not have to force anything. There it is. All right, so as soon as you pick it up, you got to be very careful. And I learned this online because the GPS is, there it is right there. It's connected to the top. So what we're going to do is we're going to carefully unplug the GPS right there. There's your GPS right on top. Nice and snug. And it plugs into right there where it's labeled GPS. So I'm going to put him over here out of the way. Alright, prior to me diddling and playing with this thing, I kind of want to give it a quick overview here. Alright, we have all our power cords going in good. We have one cable going down, which is our, what does that say there? Check power, that's connected. We have all of our 4 motors all wired back here. And I actually have room for more plugs. Where are the extra plugs? I have no idea. Maybe this is also designed for a hexcopter later on, because there's actually 4 more, so maybe even octa-quad. Alright, this is the LED plug. This is the Devo M main controller. And here's where we're going to connect everything else. Our auxiliary 1 through 3, our gear, rudder, throttle, elevator, aileron, our data port, our data bus, and our jump port. We would not be using a jump port because I don't want to reset it. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look really quick at all the soldering. Make sure everything is good. There is no loose cables that's going to cause these motors to fall apart. Yeah, the Walkera actually did a really decent solder job here. And they also coated everything with like a little coating there to protect it. Okay. So far so good. I'm happy. Here's our little speed controllers in there, our ESCs. Alright, and believe it or not, we have a decent amount of room. I mean, the battery is going to take up 90% of the space, so we're going to put in our receiver right here. And then, let me see what I can feed through this side. Well, this is already feeding the probably the power for the camera gimbal, and this is feeding the compass. It goes directly connected in here. Alright, so let's go ahead and start there. Okay, let's get our receiver, and we're going to go ahead and actually connect it this way because I want to run both antenna cables outside and down the legs. This is actually a really awesome design. You only need 1 cable. Okay, I just learned something new. And normally I go cable by cable by cable into my receiver. In this case, all these are auxiliary plugs. So I just need 1 cable? Is that what you're telling me? Oh, I gotta double check this online, but if that's the case, that's awesome. That is extremely awesome. Because then run my cables down the back just how I want to. plug in one cable and I'm good to go. So technically, I plug in my data bus cable here. And then I find my data bus cable here. It cannot be this easy. Let me actually run it underneath so it's out of the way. And that's it. It can't be. So one cable for the whole receiver via data bus. Very extremely interesting. Okay, the cable's kind of short, so we're gonna have to run the cables to the front. All right, I guess I would have. Yay, let's give it up for technology. There's actually one cable that's all you're gonna need. One data bus cable. So now that we've confirmed that, I'm gonna go ahead and make it a little neat here so it's not like all flopping everywhere. Find the data bus port here and plug it right in. Got nice little wedges on here, so there's no way to mess it up. Okay, now this a bit cumbersome here, and actually do this here. So now this is right under this. Okay. Went ahead and I ran the top cable, which was the closest to here, right down this hole on this side. And I'm gonna run this one, it's all the way in the bottom, and cross to the second hole to work. I'll run it down the leg so it's out of the way. Alright, so we have that in place. I'm ready to put the cover back on. I don't think there's anything else I'm going to mess with in here for now. Oh yeah, wait, one thing's missing. This guy. Alright, so the camera. Alright, took some trial and error, but yes. The cables for the gimbal go directly to the ports auxiliary 4 and auxiliary 5. So I went ahead and I felt that it was a little, initially when I put it in, it was too much vibration and it was too loose, so I put a small little two-sided tape, but I only taped up one side to the receiver. Then I ran the first antenna down and through, and I used those little rubber stoppers that I brought to kind of keep that cable without, so it doesn't slide up and down. So now it's tight, it doesn't move, it's good, it's nice and snug, and there's plenty of room for the battery. And we're good to go, we're ready to pop it back in. So cable's hanging, everything ready. Step one, let's put the top back on. Prior to putting the top back on, we gotta make sure, first of all, that we line up the lights in the back. Nothing gets pinched or pushed. No cables are sticking out or out of the way. And that we plug our GPS right back in. So we don't want to forget that. So the first thing I'm gonna do, I don't know if you'll be able to see here, this little cable here. Line it up with the GPS with the little tab facing up. Go sideways here. Clip it right in. Probably blocking the camera, but it's a little uncomfortable to hold this thing. There we go. So should plug right in there where it says GPS. Alright, so now let's line up the cover back on. Everything should kind of almost snap into place. Make sure you don't see any cables sticking out or pushing out or anything weird like that. Okay. Snap it down a little bit all around. Nice and snug. Flip it over. And let's go ahead and do the first thing that we took off, which was a little tiny hidden screw. Okay, get the little screw nice and tight into place. Make sure the LEDs, the GPS, fell into the ring nice and comfortable. You don't want to force it, and you don't want it to fall off or anything. So it should be nice and snug. If they're not, then take 2 seconds and adjust them. Don't get lazy. And let's put a little rubber stopper back in place. Goes here. It's a little wedge, so just make sure the wedge goes to the back. There you go, nice and closed. Now we start back. Alright, remember these? And the tips are pretty much what's going to keep it, you know, nice and tight there. Original seal of approval from Walkera with, I guess that's a QR code to give you details about this specific model and serial number. Alright, now the ones you want to kind of tighten a little bit but not too crazy are these last ones up here. Last ones in the top are what's going to control the pressure that's on the body itself. Not too much. Again, don't go crazy. It's plastic. This thing is heavy. I gotta weigh this thing out when it's completely done. Alright, I think we're... Oh, there goes my my transmitter right there. I can see it clearly from the inside where I plugged it in at. And kind of nice. Actually worked out pretty good. There's some little pieces of rubber in there, I guess, to keep the battery from vibrating and crashing around. So it's pretty neat. Alright, let's put our legs on. Yay! Okay, leg time. 2 sets of legs. Obviously one has a compass, so that one would go on the compass side. So we're going to go ahead and move this to the side here. Let's get our cable through this hole. And let's get our cables through these holes. And these smaller cables here that I just put together. All through the holes. There's a reason that Walkera made this cable separated like this. A lot of people saying, well, there should just be one simple plug. Oh, there was a reason for that. If they would have kept it as one simple plug, you would have had to take apart the cable completely to be able to fit it through the holes. And I don't think that's something you want. You want to keep it nice and simple. I think Walkera did a really good job with this Pro version. I think they went all out and they wanted to hit the market with something really, really good. They kind of made, you know, kept their knee out there for quality. Alright, yeah, like I thought, these screws are for easy access to take apart. So it's kind of nice. Instead of just having standard screws, they're hand tightened. So if you want to take these legs out anytime, you can. Very, very good plus there, Walkera. I like that. Alright, let's get all of our cables through again. And I mean, it's very good quality work here. I mean, they did some really good. They did a good job with this. There's no like floppy legs. There's no piece of the plastic sticking into a hole. I mean, they really fit this thing together. Now, for you guys who own DJI Phantoms, the props will fit on this one. So these are plastic props. They're okay. They're good. They're fun. They do their job. But if you like the carbon graphite props from the DJI Phantom, you can easily bring them on over here. They will work. Alright, so yeah, if I would have known it had this much slack on the cable, I want to see if we could push some in there. Alright. Okay, pins to the top. It's here. I wonder why the compass, and again, I don't know too much about these compasses for these come on, what's going on here? For these quads, but why put the compass on one leg? Why not put it as part of the body? I don't know. Anyone out there has experience with this, that would be kind of nice if you could share that. I'm going to go ahead and, when I can, tape this thing down nice and neat. Same thing with the legs here and the antenna cables, and it'll work great for the these other cables. Hey! Beautiful! Let's flip it over. Bam! Nice and steady. Pretty good. I thought it was going to be wobbly for these little rubber legs on here, but so far so good. Alright. Alright, so up to this point, all you really got to do is slap in the props. Slap in the little prop screws, which are these here. You can use a small little teeny tiny screwdriver, to which I have one, to spin it around. Or if you don't have a little tiny screwdriver, if you have those little things to hold the corns, you have the little spears, they work very well too. So I'm going to go ahead now and bring over my gimbal, install it so I can get these wires all neated up on here. Then I'm going to I'm not gonna put the props to the last minute. I'm actually gonna connect my battery. I'm gonna bind it to my receiver. I wanna make sure everything works, and I will not put the props till I'm ready to take it to the next step. You know, it's recommended do not connect the props while you're running your test and see if you're sure this thing is ready to go and fly. Because the last thing you want to do is push the wrong button and this thing just shoot up, and all your money, all your investment, all your time, all your work, gone. Alright. Oh my god, hold on. Hi. The
Annoying.
most dangerous helicopter in the air right now. You playing Bumblebee this morning? Not gonna make it. Oh! Right. Look at that. Woo!
It's upside down world.
Do it again. Ah!
Okay, that thing is getting gone.
Quick here. Wired up a switch out of the bag. 3,000 milliamp. IMAX B6 AC. Battery fits. It's finally here. Walkera Devo 10 remote. All right, as you can see. V262 quadcopter, the Radjet 800. And over here, it's gonna move and sway like this, right out of the box. That's cool. You see, I'm not even touching the control. It's like I'm at 25, maybe 20 there.